fact, the majority of inshore saltwater anglers who go out fishing on any given weekend end up catching less fish than they want, most of them getting skunked. And the only reason is because they're fishing in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Well, the great news is we have some new software that literally predicts exactly what day and time of day to fish in your area, and we top it off by actually getting on satellite maps every single Friday morning and showing you exactly where to fish based on real-time trends and weather in your area to catch redfish and speckled trout, snook, and flounder. So if that sounds like something that you like, that you benefit from, come join us in the Salt Strong Insider Club. It is guaranteed to help you catch more fish on your next trip, or you don't pay. Go to saltstrong.com, look up at the top, and you'll see a Join Now button, and join us and the 30,000 other anglers in this amazing club. See you in there soon.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
We got fish on. Trout time, baby. Sun is coming up. Little moon right there. I don't know what you can see, Joel, since it's kind of tough lighting, but
sounds like a trout at least.
Yeah, feels like a trout. And trout it is. Sun is literally coming up here in beautiful Tampa Bay, Florida. It's Luke and I, if you're listening in. I don't ever do my really loud Simons like diamonds. I know some of you love it, some of you hate it. What's a nice little trout there? But I feel like in the morning time, I'm trying not to spook the fish. Hold on there, buddy.
Ooh, I've got one on me too.
Oh, Luke's on? That beautiful trout there. And I'm using Slam Shady 2.0 if you're listening. Can't hear. Hooked perfectly. Come on. Hooked almost too well. Right in that tough part of the trout's mouth. And Luke's using the old, Moonwalker.
Yeah, still a little chilly this morning. The fish are popping it. They're just not hitting it super aggressively.
Ooh, right. Is that right behind us?
Yeah, I think that was just a ladyfish.
All right, nice trout on the board. So I don't know what you can and can't see there, Joel. We got the sun coming up right behind us. And this is, how is it? Good, cool. This is one of our first times doing I'm not going to say nighttime, but early morning podcast. This is some of the best times to fish here, especially.
This is the time we used to not fish because we were out catching bait.
And we saw
Best time of the day.
Some people at the ramp this morning going straight to catch bait. And we are catching fish. Luke's had right when we got here, I was still tying up. And Luke had a couple oh, something's feeding over there.
Yeah, that's a slasher. I think that's a ladyfish, but it's worth the cast. You can hear the slash versus a pop.
We're about to find out.
Maybe the mackerel or something.
Shady right over there.
But the good news, that means that there's a good amount of food in here.
Yeah, look at this sunrise. I mean, this is the best. This is the best. When everyone else is just waking up right now, having their coffee, we're already out in the water. It's so peaceful. Not a single boat here, at least in this area. Couple at the ramp, as I said. They're out catching fish.
And it is really shallow here.
And it was funny. We ran into a guide at the ramp. Super helpful in terms of just letting us know that the reds and trout and snook have been out in this area, just in a tournament. And he asked the question that we hear all the time. Is that Slam Shady really work? Is that really what you use? It looks like, man, check out our live well. Because it doesn't even work, man. It hasn't been turned on in a couple years.
Or might work, I don't know. It's literally.
And he started laughing.
Hasn't had bait in
we had a good conversation with him. He's like, well, all right, when do you choose, what color? Because I know you got, Alabama leprechaun and power prawn, all that. And what was your answer there, Luke?
I just go with what you know. I just go with Slam Shady. It's my favorite.
Same with me.
With the paddle tails, but then with the shrimp lure, just natural. And it's rare that a color change will make a huge difference. Just go with a good one that works in in all conditions to just get used to just changing the retrieve around. That's usually the thing that needs to be changed when the fish aren't biting. Either the retrieve or the size of the lure.
That's it. Yeah, the size first.
Retrieve first, then size.
I say size first. If you just got the complete wrong size and they're dialed on something else.
Yeah.
But then again, last time we were here I guess we weren't even doing the podcast. It was funny. We did that podcast, similar area. We're a couple miles away. That was just horrible. 2 weeks ago? It was a really slow day. And we always talk about as soon as we turn the camera off, one of us is going to catch a fish. And Luke did. Remember Luke?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I remember.
And then shortly after, finally got a nice redfish. But that was for me switching up to Fred. So there are times if I've fished with something for...
Well, you changed your retrieve is what did it.
That long? No, I was doing the same retrieve. And Fred is now one of my confidence baits. Isn't that funny how it works? Because Luke could be potentially right.
Yeah, it's retrieve that did it because I switched the same retrieve and I got a bite on the Slam Shady shortly after.
Yeah,
Color, I won't say color doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter nearly as much as the retrieve tempo and speed, nor the size of the lure. There's literally studies on that. It's kind of hard to argue against it.
There's also studies on why color matters.
No, again, I'm not
Shady.
saying it doesn't matter. Just relative to other factors, it doesn't matter. Oh,
Ooh, do you hear that? Man, that might have picked up on the mic. Something going
Yeah, I
after
think-
Luke's moonwalker.
I think that was a junk fish.
I'm about to put the paddle tail through there and see if it'll hit that. Yeah, it's about to be a hardcore moonwalker time. I'm already starting to see some reports in the community. People unboxing their moonwalker for the first time and using it. And they're like, I get it. All right, you guys see this bird over here? Always cast near the bird.
I've got a good fish following mine. Eat it. Oh. All right, there's some fish out here. This is cool.
Yes, here comes some more birds. Oh, nice hit there.
Yeah, Joe, if you cast that line right there, you'll probably get something. I had something showing interest.
Make sure I still got a tail.
Yeah,
All right.
good strategy for topwater is to use the topwater to find the fish like that. In that case, a lot of times the fish will just be interested enough to follow it and they'll wake, but they won't. They're just not aggressive enough to come hit. And then you have somebody with a paddle tail, or you have a paddle tail on a second rod, and have them follow it up.
Ooh,
yeah, see,
ooh.
Joe just got thumped. That was a good boil too.
It's followed up, but it's not hitting.
So these topwater plugs, first of all, they're just fun, but they're really good about just finding the fish. Because at least if something shows an interest, it'll at least, and you're up in shallow water, you'll at least see. There we are. Oh, maybe that's a bluefish. No, that's a ladyfish. Dang, where's that blue?
Yeah,
Ooh, watch
really.
out. The thing's owning you.
Thing's got some pizzazz here this morning. Of course, the one time I want this ladyfish to jump off. We don't need to keep any for a cut bait later or anything, do we?
Nah.
We talked about doing that at one point because one time we were here, we did see so many reds, and the only way to get them, they were on such high alert, was honestly probably cut bait or something like it. That thing just pooped all over the boat. Oh, pelican just went in for some food. Doggone. This is what's so cool about being out here first. God, jacked up my Slam Shady.
Yeah, this is only going to get better as far as this early morning bite as the water heats up. Now we're it's still, I don't know, it's probably in the 60s this morning. So water's a little chilly, but there is a lot of life on this flat right now, more so than there has been the last 4 or 5 months. And the fact that they're already at least popping at the top water and following it, I can't wait for probably another 2 or 3 weeks. A topwater bite in the morning is going to be amazing, and it's just so much fun. It is really hard to beat topwater action as the sun's coming up.
Ladyfish messed me up here.
Got to own by it while you're fighting it, and then afterwards too. That's not good, Joe. Losing my touch.
At least I've caught 2 fish. How many have you caught there, Luke? Oh, whammy.
I don't think we should count ladyfish. That's embarrassing.
All right. That was a big one. You guys were watching. That was a Mondo lady.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
man. Something's behind Luke. Can you zoom in on that, Joel?
I think that was a redfish. I think the redfish spooked. This topwater might be a little bit too loud for the reds right now. And so what we're seeing, or at least what I'm seeing, is right here below, there is a bunch of little 1.5-inch minnows. Ooh, man, this might be a school of redfish in front of us.
Something's awakening out here.
But anyhow, the fact that we have those minnows, these fish are keyed in on small baits. Oh, eat it, eat it. Oh. Eat it. Come on, he's following. Joe, get your paddle tail here and you'll catch him.
All right, hold on.
All right, it's ready for you. Oh, it just spooked off. Oh, that was looking like a little redfish. But just seeing those the bait. Right now we know there's a bunch of little small stuff here, and probably should have clued off with those ladyfish. The small profile lures are probably going to be the ticket. So this topwater might be a little bit too big, and Joe's throwing the 3.5-inch, the Slim Shady 2.0. That's probably going to be the ticket.
All right, I hope you guys can hear the birds.
I might make a switch to that here pretty soon.
So we always got to go back to the fundamentals. The 3 Bs. Birds, you can hear them. Bait, as Luke said, there's little minnows all over the place. And we got boils. We literally got fish boiling up and trying to swoon in on Luke's topwater. Don't catch that bird. So we're in a good spot.
Dang, I thought that was going to be
day. What's the tide? We're at super low. You can see what normally is way underwater.
This is a very low tide.
Is it moving at all?
It's about to start coming in. We're basically dead low.
Oh, we gotta find those rays. Go out this way.
There should be some bigger fish around here somewhere. Nothing yet that have spooked off or had pop has been like anything over 20-something inches. So there should be some 30+ inch reds out here.
We're in a foot of water. FYI.
Well, listen, I mean, right now we're on bottom, but we're just basically right on the edge of this flat.
All right. So we got trout.
If you wouldn't mind walking back a little bit so I can lift. Yes, with this.
We are literally on the bottom.
With the small skiff like this, even further back. Small skiff like this, weight, dispersion is everything. So just simply by Joe going to the back, that's going to lift the trolling motor up high enough. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
No, it was in the ground.
Good. Just spooked a bunch of fish, but wait and move up a little bit, like 2 feet. There we are.
Look at that.
And now, come on, now you can come back up.
The shift.
Yeah, just the shift of weight is a big deal for maneuvering the trolling motor up in the shallows. I got us off the ground.
Ooh.
Back in action.
Don't want to hit a bird today. Done that before. Joel's been a witness. Yeah.
Figure out.
Right now, normally you'd be, oop, something followed you up, didn't it?
No, it's just a wave.
You'd be wet right now. Cast net.
Yeah, I do not miss the cast net. But what's crazy is the average fish size has really not changed as far as size-wise. Because a lot of the, especially bigger lures, they'll weed out the really small fish. Where if you throw a little 2.5-inch live bait, you catch the catfish, you catch the kind of the little, just really anything. Anything eats them, and these lures will weed through the small stuff, and especially the topwater, with the inline hooks is what I really like. The small stuff will pop it, miss, and then a big one will come up and slurp it down.
Oh, yeah. A bunch of birds up here. You see this, Joel? That's a flock of pelicans.
Yeah, this is a lively looking area.
Super, you can see it's shallow up there, but
If I were smart, I'd be throwing the 2.0, but I really want to get a topwater bite.
the 2.0. Got one?
Got something going on over here. I don't know what the heck this
What
could
is
be.
that? All right,
It might just be messed up. Yeah.
You just hooked a pinfish or something.
Hooked a weed.
All right. Man, look at this. It looks so good. Water's all a little bit churned up here. And I'm willing to bet, regardless if you're on the podcast version or watching this on the tube, you can hear the birds.
Yeah, we've got a lot of feeding going on here.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Now we just got to find the big ones.
Yep. Yeah, I know there's some big schools of redfish around here somewhere.
So what we're gonna do is just keep covering water, and the fact that this is all real shallow. Like right now we're in the deeper section, which is probably 1.5 feet. And so if we do come across a big school of reds, we'll see them. We'll see them at least wake off. And once we see that, that's when I'll really slow down.
All right, I'm getting up there and then.
Yeah, we have this is a nice little point. It just goes from like 8 inches down to maybe 12.
Stingray.
But that just any sort of small depth change is a big deal on a flat like this. So we will slow down and cover this area really closely.
All right. And yes, I did apply Dr. Juice this morning. Don't you guys worry.
Yeah, I put it on the topwater as well.
I got my buddy hooked on it now. Went over to Fort Pierce. Got invited to stay at a friend's house, and more of a live bait guy. Spent a lot of time, he did, not me, getting live bait, and it didn't really produce. The shrimp did. We got the kids had a blast just catching a bunch of little snapper and stuff on shrimp. But guess what else worked? Slim Shady 2.0 and the Power Prawn. Covered with Dr. Juice on a jig head, popping it around docks. One nice snook got off right at the dock. Caught some snappers, barracuda. And he's like, oh, it's so easy. Oh, fish on, baby.
Another trout.
Another
That's great.
trout. Not as big as the first one, but hey, we'll take it.
Whoa, something really big just spooked behind us.
You see that, Joel?
There's no
That's
way
a
Joel
boil
saw
right there. If you want to know what a boil in a wake, you can see that thing waking off. It's funny that we already passed it.
It might have been a shark just cruising around. That was probably too big to be if that was a redfish or a snook, it was a beast.
It probably would have spooked beforehand. There you go. Nice trout. Get him back in the water quickly. Still got my 2.0 in check. Yeah, these 2.0 lures just made out of oroplastisol. I mean, they'll last a really long time as long as you're catching decent fish. It's when you start getting to the junk fish, I think that's the biggest misconception. Oh, man, it didn't last very long.
Trout bit my tail off. The trout
Yeah.
will not bite the tail
No,
off.
trout.
Looking at the underwater footage, trout actually hit from the underbelly with the tail outside the mouth, like every time, based on the slow-mo footage. And so I guarantee you trout are not biting off the tails. That's going to be pinfish, snapper, puffers, all the little junk stuff. Especially the puffers, those are the worst.
They can bite through anything.
Yeah, with trout, I mean, you can catch a ton of trout per lure.
Yeah, I love that. We don't have to have our sunglasses on yet. Go right back in that little area here. Man, this looks so good. Beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. And where are we on the moon phase? Look like a little bit of a small moon.
Yeah, we're getting close to the new moon. which is good. It means they, ooh, it's a nice little boil right there. I don't know if it's a big redfish or what, but let's see if we can make this happen.
One way to find out.
It's either mullet or redfish.
Oh, Luke's going right by where it was.
So I'm going close enough. There's a handful of them there. It's really shallow, so that might just be mullet.
I'll go right behind.
Dang. I was almost thinking that was redfish there for a second.
I wouldn't mind seeing some tailing redfish. Whoa! Making sure you're watching.
Okay, that is a redfish tail up there. All right, I'm gonna have to get the power prawn on. I'll do one more cast with these tailors.
Oh, baby, can you see that?
Yeah,
Look, Joel.
That's a big tail.
Oh, baby. Birds diving. Oh, man, like this is so awesome. As long as I don't hook into a bird.
All right, this is my last cast with top water. That's a good size. That's a good size red. Let's see if we can get up there without.
See if he's got some friends.
Yeah, so the tail's about probably about 100 yards up. Top water is not for tailors.
Go Gadget casting arm.
Top water not good for tailors, but Power Prawn USA's are. Oh yeah.
And this is where
Load up on Dr. Juice.
Dr. Juice is loose. This is when you want to double down because you just never know and you want every advantage possible. Last time we were here, these reds were kind of spooky. We found them like this, but you had to go super slow and really just let them come up and nibble it. Put that there for you. Now I want every possible advantage.
All right, now we've got to find that tailor again.
I want to make some cast out here and see if there's any other ones. Oh, something else just boiled right here in front.
That was a good fish that just spooked off right here.
I mean, this whole flat's just loaded with reds.
I would say loaded, but there are at least some here.
No, I'm trying to be hopeful. Well, your negative attitude, you're probably right.
Yeesh. The fact that we just see a couple that can't claim that it's loaded.
I said, hopefully it's loaded. I'm trying to just.
All right, let's see. Where did
Kick
where did that tailor go?
Oh, mullet jump on? Oh, come on, guys. Now we're just, if you're watching, there's definitely a redfish in this area, and we're just blind casting right now, hoping that it reveals itself again. Shallow enough water where we saw that sucker tailing, putting his head down, digging around for some crustaceans. Trying to be quiet and just looking.
Pick a side.
Pick a side, any side, sir. Luke has now switched to Power Prawn on a Haas hook, weedless Haas hook.
Yeah, this is my go-to for tailors now. I love this thing.
Oh, no. That I saw.
Yeah, so this water's shallow enough too where the blade is starting to hit the grass, so I'm gonna have to reset the trolling motor after another couple casts. That tailor was right around in here.
All right, don't worry about us, redfish. You're in a safe place. For now. Oh, look, right there, right there. Just tailed.
How far out?
Directly where I'm pointing. See the little small wave?
Is it in between? Is it in the glassy spot?
In the little slick looking, yeah.
In the slick?
Yep.
All right. So the worst thing you can do when you're on tailing fish like this in shallow water is to be loud, and that troll motor is the #1 source for being loud. You don't want that thing clipping the grass. You don't want it clipping the air either. So I'm trying to get just the right height. That sounds better. Now I'm not hearing the grass and I'm not hearing the air.
So what's your trick for these tailing redfish, Luke, in terms of retrieval?
I mean, just get the lure to them without
Presentation.
spooking. Just not spook them is the #1 thing. And so try to get upwind of them so you can make a good accurate cast. Cast over, make sure the line doesn't hit them, make sure the lure doesn't hit them. and then just get the lure in front of their face. That's all I like to do. The razzle dazzle basically is get the cast over it, reel it, and then let it, make sure that it's close to the man, these birds are going crazy.
It was an aggressive dive.
Yeah, make sure that's going close to the fish, and just give a little razzle dazzle, quick little rod tip movements without moving the lure very much. You just want to basically get its attention, and they'll just come slam it. It is awesome.
That's assuming you can see the whole thing.
Correct. There goes something right there.
Man, this looks just so stinking fishy. Birds everywhere. Yeah, Joel, get some of that on film. We got bait. There's a mullet jumping around here. This looks so good. And we know there's some reds in this area. We just got to find them.
So it seems like they're just scattered around. I haven't seen any schools at all. So it'll be just a numbers game. Cast and recast and look for any sort of oddity.
All right. Look behind us. Sun is starting to come up.
I think we just spooked something up.
Was that you? Was it your line?
No, I think I heard the trolling motor. We are getting some super shallow water. Ooh, that was a big fish. That was the first big fish that we spooked there. That was
we saw a big boil. I'm gonna talk quiet, even though I know it doesn't matter too much. It's just natural.
So we're basically going over a little hump right here. We're in really shallow water where the boat's just dragging.
All right, so there's
trying to power over this little spot.
kind of going over right where I just saw something move. Come on, baby, hit it. This is so exciting. I mean, it's kind of just like hunting when you know you're in that spot. You know, there's deer, moose, whatever you're into around. And you're just trying to get close enough. Wow, spooking the heck out of them. And hoping and praying that you cross paths with one that's feeding.
So what I think I might do is I might go back to the old topwater.
Really?
Just so wanting to have there. I was hoping that red would be a school of them, and it clearly wasn't. They're just singles. And at least the topwater will get them to follow. And then Joe will be able to, if they don't actually strike, Joe will be able to follow up with the.
Well, I kind of like the sound of this already. This is great news. Yes, go to the topwater for sure. Oh, like a good brother, I'll be right there behind you.
Well, but don't worry, I'm keeping my second rod here, so I can do a quick switcheroo.
Oh, switcherooski.
So don't hit the rod either.
Yeah, so I have this Slam Shitty 2.0 on just owner twist lock hook. Oh man, the troll American, wow. Just keeps on working. And we teamed up with owner on that Haas hook. Definitely a must-have for the power prawns. A little bit thicker, and that wide gap helps out hook sets. Now Luke's got top water on. If you're listening, I am watching to see if anything comes up behind him, because I want to be there to take advantage.
Yeah, this is a tough part of the tide where it's coming up, and the fish are starting to move in, but it's so shallow that I can't move in with them. So I'm having to push out on the. Ooh, dang. That was something. I'm having to push out on the outside so that we can cast up into them from the deeper water and just hope we can reach them.
They all seem to be in that same kind of area.
Yeah, that's right on the edge.
Dang.
And so I guess what's happening is all those little schools of bait fish, like those birds where they're diving, is super shallow. So all that bait's pushing up on the flat, and those predators are in there following them. Like even in this shallow water skiff, we still can't really get all the way up there. Because every time I get up too shallow, my troll motor starts hitting bottom, and this fish are spooking off from it.
So it would be nice to be in a kayak. Or just, maybe we should wait up there. little bit slower process, but.
Yeah, I didn't bring any wading boots.
What was that? It's just a little bait fish. See it?
No.
Popping up right in front of you. Oh, man. I'm waiting for something to explode on that. Good news about the topwater is Luke can launch it.
Yeah, this thing will cover a long distance.
And also, the great thing about those heavy-duty inline hooks.
There's something right on the surface right here. There's like a back of a fish out of the water. Or maybe that's just can't tell what that is. Maybe that's just a weed. My eyes are playing tricks on me.
Yeah, they are. So fish is back out of the water. Now that sun's coming up. All right, this is go time here, baby. All right, birds are coming closer to us. Oh, circling around us. Oh. Slight little nibble, something small. I want to feel that thump.
Yeah, we'll get them. When it's going to get really good is when we can actually push up closer to the shoreline. That's where there's some deeper pockets up in this little bay that we're fishing, and we just can't even get back up in there right now. As soon as we can, that should be when it really turns on.
Of course, that'll be when the podcast is over, and only you insiders will get to see what happens after that. But in all seriousness, that's a huge perk about, oh, God, my line just spooked something. See that?
Yeah, that was a big fish too. Dang.
About being an insider is every day now, our coaches are going fishing new spots and reporting everything. Literally showing where we caught fish, where we missed fish. And the whole pre and post trip analysis, pre meaning like, oh man.
Yeah, that's just your line settle in the water and spook that one.
Keep my rod tip up. There are definitely some fish in this area. I can't believe we're not getting explosions on the topwater. But anyhow, that the pre-trip analysis is super powerful because you're getting to see why we pick certain spots. Like, hey, why did we pick this spot this day? And then the post-trip is all the stuff that you learn. So it's a whole lot better to learn from your mistakes than to have no idea what you did right. And you can learn so much, both good and bad trips. That's why we take the time. Same with game film. Even the best teams like Tampa Bay Bucks watch game film on the games that they win and destroy the people to say, hey, what do we do right here? Let's kind of recreate this.
And the games they lose too. What do we do wrong? It's so important to actually think about what happened. And having the coaches do it, just takes the guesswork out of it. Just basically kind of forces you to think about the things that are rarely thought about.
All right, there's birds galore. Something's gonna happen around here. I got a funny feeling. Sun's coming up. Birds, I'll make sure I don't hook one.
Yeah, we had those couple tails come up just teasing us. Mm-hmm. And then no more.
Look at that bird. He likes the moonwalker.
Get it, bud.
You don't want no part of that, dude. No seagulls. Oh, get some weeds. Let me go weedless. Beauty about these twist locks, and same with a Haas for a power prawn, is I go weedless pretty easily. Because we are now getting some weeds.
All right, I think now that I'm having a squint, topwater time is over. As much as I want it to happen, you just can't force it.
What's Wyatt's little hand rule? It's hand puppets?
I don't know, I never understood that thing.
Wyatt, if you're listening, please comment. Tell us your hand puppet rule.
Now I'm going to the trusty, what I should have been throwing this whole time, Slam Shady 2.0. Little Dr. Juice on here, a little Dirty Deeks rig.
See that?
Oh yeah, there's something going on out there.
See that right ahead of me? jaw on the water. Just keep looking up there in between us and the birds.
That is very promising.
Something's going to
That is
town.
very promising.
And that's where we be going.
So what I'm going to do is this motor starting to
You're
cavitate.
always looking.
The motor's starting to cavitate a little bit. And so I'm going to put it down about an inch.
Cavitation.
Actually, the word's not cavitate, it's something else, but I was corrected on a prior video. I can't remember what I was corrected
You sounded smart though.
to. Yeah, so
Oh, man.
guys,
Talking about cavitation.
or good vocabulary. And then that was totally the wrong word. Whoops. I've been saying it for so many years, now I can't get away from it.
Who taught you that was the word?
I don't know.
Just picked it up.
Thought it was normal vernacular.
All right. Where'd that movement go?
Yeah, so we're gonna pick it up a little bit. That movement was a good ways up.
I'm gonna come over on your right hand side.
Really good.
Cast out here and see if there's anything coming up. So like I said, all these fish are gonna be pushing up as the tide comes in, and they gotta be coming from this deeper area. I'm gonna see if I can intercept one versus just trying to go up there in the super shallow water. Because sometimes you just don't know until you try. All right. Get up there. Looks like we're getting closer. Big old pothole right here. That's like a perfect trout spot. Big white pothole. Seagrass around it. All right, you see
Yeah.
any signs of anything good?
No, that's whatever that movement was, is they've slowed down, or they can't be too far. But it might have just been mullet too, but it was definitely some sign of life. Just pretty much this is like a really big flat. You can see it's very expansive. It goes further out this way, way further down and it's really just about finding the little pockets of life. And they move around. So a lot of it require that. This is the type of fishing where artificial lures actually
Whoa,
has a
there we go.
very big advantage. Because we can cover water. We've already covered probably, I don't know,
Something was following them.
maybe a half mile. And then as soon as we find
or something.
those were those leathered bit jackets or whatever they're called. But as soon as we find the life, then we actually slow down. So I'm gonna speed up a little bit. Like we saw that one sign of life should be right around here. We'll speed up a little bit to go to these birds. And it's really just a numbers game. Just keep covering water and eventually some big fish will get caught.
And as we talked about last time, usually it's right after turning the camera off. That's the cool part about these live ones. You get to see exactly what really happens and how we approach spots, how we move.
Trolling motor adjustments is crucial.
Why Luke keeps going back to top water.
That's because I'm stubborn. All right, I just saw another little, everything's popping up like a cast and a half away from us. So they might
It's like
just,
they know we're
they
here.
might just be hearing us, or it's just our bad luck. Yeah, because it's hard to beat, for the being extremely quiet, it's hard to beat pulling, right, versus trolling motor. Troll motor will get the job done in most cases, but sometimes they're just ultra finicky. Yeah, hearing that there was a tournament last weekend definitely is not helping, because that means they were pressured harder than normal.
Now that's just an excuse,
That's a fact.
but a valid one. We're still going to catch them. And we know just from the trends that we've been hearing in the community that there have been a lot of schools of redfish, so they're here. We just got to find them. Now, it might be going back inside some of these mangroves. Once the water comes up, The beauty getting here early and being the first one, a small skip, is being there first.
Yeah, we'll definitely be the first ones in the backwater as soon as we can get up in there.
All right. See any more bait? Seeing birds, they're diving on something.
Yeah, those birds are all up in the bait.
That'd be sunglasses time here. Sun is officially up. So far, what? Couple trout and a ladyfish.
Couple dinkers.
Couple dinks. Oh, the first trout wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we had some good opportunities there. Just couldn't make it happen. Tails popping up. Just out of casting range.
Man, look at all these birds. You know there's some reds pulling up in here.
That one's trying to get my slam shady. Easy, buddy.
Look at this. Can't even make a cast.
Yeah, when you're casting around a bunch of birds, never do a rainbow cast. Always do a short line drive, right? And just watch your line. When you do those rainbow casts, those birds will fly right in your line, and now you got a huge mess.
Especially with braided line. Ask me how I know.
So
Brutal.
it's almost treated like a skip cast. So it'll go right up underneath them.
Golly, this area looks so good. Birds diving like crazy on this bait.
Yeah, I just think my assumption is the water is getting just high enough where those reds have pushed up over, and now they're on their way back to where we want to be.
Well, that is where we will go next.
Yeah, we just can't get there. We probably need another 30 minutes of water.
Yeah, so we'll end this broadcast day, and then we'll do another one for our insider members and get to see something big just boiled right there.
Okay, so here's the
Coming at
bait.
us.
Yeah, we're in the bait now.
All right, we'll give it one more second. I just had a little hit.
Literally in the bait. It's all, might even go to the nub lure here in a little bit. Take the tail off the 2.0.
Super small little bait, little minnows. All right, I'll give it 2 more minutes. Then we'll go to the other side, where we will slay.
It's just nice to see all this life. It was so sad. It was just last summer when there was a really bad red tide in this area, and just a lot of fish died. It was horrible. And it's definitely not where it used to be as far as Tampa Bay, especially like kind of near St. Pete where I live. But this area is starting to rebound, which is great. Because I mean, with all this life, it is just so nice to see.
Yeah,
it was a huge scare, obviously, and again, it was terrible what happened. But it's at least starting to rebound.
I'm gonna go up super shallow and see if there's anything up there. Oh, besides a bird. I'd love to have a redfish and a bird fight over a slam shady. No such luck on that cast, eh? All right, cool. Well, we're gonna keep moving up here until we can cross over, and hope you guys enjoyed this one. Got to see another live on the water. What really happens? Man, another something spooked off. Means we're gonna have to go in super stealth mode. But yeah, if you guys want to see exactly where we are and what happens the rest of the time, join us in the Insider Club every day, putting up a new insider report. And another thing that we just keep getting more and more feedback on is our software, the Smart Fishing Tide software. It's the only software I know that is built for inshore saltwater anglers by inshore saltwater anglers. And we take quite a few different variables, the ones that are important, and have basically put it all into one little we call it software package, because really what it is using technology and bringing in all this data, and it's updating like every 15 minutes. So I love it. go out there and check all the way up to 14 days to kind of get an idea of when the best days will be, and then see your weather. You got the wind, obviously you got your tides, and then it's got projections on what days and time of day will be the absolute best. So it's kind of like having a fishing guide in your back pocket, like being able to text a guide and say, hey, I got these 3 days I can pick, which one do you think I should do? And boom, it tells you. You don't have to text message anybody. It is right there. And oh man, look at all this bait up here.
Yep. Yeah, and the cool thing about it, it's specific for redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder.
Right.
So
there's other projection things that like are everything from bass to barracuda, and it's like, all right, I want something that's for me, and that's what we built. It's not going to help you for a bass fisher.
Yeah, so even the time of day, it literally looks at the core variables: wind speed, and wind direction, changing of temperatures, and obviously seasonal dependency on how those different factors actually impact the bite. And it's the most. Oh man, those are skipjacks in there.
Yeah,
but it's really the most dialed in system for figuring out when the feed's going to happen. And that's just the start of the club. That's just the high level. The biggest impact is the human intelligence, right? And that's where it comes into the weekly game plans and the daily, the daily insider reports from coaches. That gives you just a real time, hey, here's exactly where the fish are holding, the types of spots they're positioning at, what lures are best to get them, and so on and so forth. So just basic club is exactly what we just wish we had when we started.
And then of course the 20% off for more on all the tackle, which is just another way to justify the $1.87 per week cost, which is really nothing. But we have some members who've saved literally over $1,000 a year just on the tackle alone. And got some really cool stuff. If you listen to the last podcast, we talked about the new rods and some other new things coming. Really, really stoked about it. It's going to be a good summer. So, guys, we appreciate you big time. Appreciate you current members. I know a lot of you guys are listening in, and we appreciate all of the amazing engagement there inside the private community. We're definitely hitting some new records of total posts, total comments, and just new members coming in and joining. It's been really cool to see that grow. So appreciate you. And if you want to know more, go to saltstrong.com to join. And the community page is community.saltstrong.com. Of course, only insider members can access that. And stay tuned for some more cool stuff. And we'll continue to do this all throughout here, the late spring and in the summer, doing more and more of these on the water ones where you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And once again, insider members, we'll put the rest of the trip as we get more intel. So peace. We out of here. Gotta put some sunglasses on now.
See ya.
Getting bright. Woo!
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was pain.